alive in the space between us. Feel that love right now. God speaks out in the words between us. Hear those words right now. I am holy. You are holy. There is beauty between us. Spirit shines in the light between us. See that light right now. Peace is born in the good between us. Be that peace right now. I am holy. You are holy. There is beauty between us. Between us. Faith is the bond that we share between us. Hold that faith right now. Truth is the light and the breath between us. Live that truth right now. We are holy. We are holy. We between us. Love is alive in the space between us. Love is alive between us.
Good morning. Good morning, Unity of Melbourne. That was Denise Rogier. I learned how to finally pronounce her name correctly. And between us. It is so good to have everyone here in the sanctuary this morning. Good morning. And good morning to you who are watching us virtually from wherever you happen to be, wearing whatever you happen to care to. It is so good that we have you joining us this morning right here at Unity of Melbourne, because we love and accept ourselves and others, and we heal our world. Would you go ahead and join me in saying that, please? Together. We love and accept ourselves and others, and we heal our world. And one of the ways we do that here at Unity of Melbourne is through music. So, our musicians are ready to sing.
I know a lot of you know this. Please sing along with us. Love is my desire. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Right here and now, I know it's done. The life that I dreamed of has finally begun. As sure as the sun shines down on me, I am the one to set myself free. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Love is my decision. Let's take that idea into prayer. In this holy moment, I pause to breathe and to be open. I open my mind to know the nature of God and my divine nature. I open my heart to experience the silence, yet certain reality of infinite life, love, and creativity. No matter what is happening at any moment in the world around me or within my experience, I am not subject to its effects. In fact, I am not my circumstances or my experiences. I am wholly divine, and all is well with my soul. I sink into the still waters, the state of perfect peace, where nothing can interrupt or displace the flow of life, love, and creativity. In this state of awareness, I rest, I renew, I blossom and I thrive. Steeped in joyful appreciation, I celebrate my ever-expanding capacity to know that all is well with my soul. I choose to live, love, and create well. And so it is. Amen. That was the guiding prayer that was offered by Silent Unity during Wednesday and Thursday's World Day of Prayer held at Unity. And we hope, or I hope, that everyone took somewhat of an opportunity to view some of the activities that were held throughout the world during this World Day of Prayer this time. So I want to welcome everyone who is here, not only in the sanctuary. Numbers have grown since we first started this morning, and I'm grateful to see that. If you're new to us here, this is your first time, or maybe even your second time, please welcome. Thank you so much for coming. And if you're so inclined, Judy in the back will have a gift for you from us. You can pick it up on your way out. We're not going to embarrass anyone by asking you to raise your hand. And if you are joining us here online virtually, if this is your first time, please mention in the comments in the section that this is your first time. We will welcome you with that, and let us know that you're watching. If you're not a first-time visitor, please stop by and also say hi and that you're here. Today we have a very, 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 very special guest with us today. Reverend Therese Lee is with us. Joseph, could you go ahead and go to the, there we go, that will work as well. Reverend Therese will be doing a kind of a follow-on to her talk today, and it's called Accepting Change, Acknowledging Loss and Allowing Grief. I can't see the monitor all the way in the back, but that will be not in place of, but as the Sunday talk discussion immediately following the service, 11:45. And for those of you watching, it will be available on Zoom, and we'll be posting that Zoom link towards the end of the service so that you can catch it. And you can, for those of you here in the sanctuary, it is down in our hospitality area, and there's room to sit down. And please join us for the 45-minute discussion afterwards. I do want to mention that we have a Wednesday evening connection and prayer, 7 o'clock on Zoom. You can join us. It's an experiment that we're trying that allows people to come together in spiritual connection, and we do a prayer session as well. So 7 o'clock is about 12 to 17 minutes. It's not all evening long, but it's an opportunity for us to get together midweek. And Joseph is posting that link now. He's shaking his head, yes. And it'll be available. It's also on meetup.com as an event. We also have it on Facebook and on our website as well. So we're trying to cover all bases, and it's all there. But it's Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. The board will be hosting a town hall meeting next Sunday at 12 o'clock. It will be in the sanctuary. The board will be updating the congregation and members on what's been happening and what they are doing for the continuation of Unity of Melbourne. So we have a few board members here with us today, and we're going to give them an opportunity to actually take the stage and talk and answer the questions next Sunday, starting at 12 noon. We also have a couple of classes that are coming up. I'm going to be teaching Living an Abundant Life for a 5-week class. It'll be Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. on Zoom, and it's also on Wednesday mornings, 10 a.m. to noon here in the church. So if you can't make one session because you're busy or something, you can come to the next one here at the church. For those of you online, again, we have it available links available on Meetup, on Facebook, on our website, and also something new. I have been made aware that not everyone is as technical as my 35-year-old son. And there have been challenges with trying to register for the classes. So, for those of you online, you can see the links on how to register, because Joseph's posting that right now, that you can just click the link and it will take you to the registration page. But those of you in the sanctuary, you can click the top of the chair as much as you want and it's not going to work. So, we have a half a sheet, it's on the back table, that says, I'm interested. And it has 4 items: the Living an Abundant Life on Tuesday evenings, the Living an Abundant Life on Wednesday mornings, and I'll talk about the Conscious Living Circle information session on Tuesday and the Conscious Living Circle information session on Thursday. Check one of those boxes, put your name down, and a contact, either email or phone, and I will give you a call and I will make sure that you are registered. So we're trying this opportunity new, and we can also answer any questions that you might have. So those are on the back. Fill it out and drop it in the basket on your way out. Speaking of the Conscious Living Circle, Maggie Roche, one of our licensed Unity teachers, will be starting at least one new Conscious Living Circles. There are 2 that are going on right now, I believe, that have been going on for over a year. And we've had some inquiries to start another one. So Maggie is offering an information session about what is the Conscious Living Circle, what do they do, how often they meet, all of those questions that you have. She's offering it on Tuesday, Tuesday morning from 10 a.m. to noon, October the 5th, in one of our classrooms. And then again on Thursday evening on Zoom. So it's only going to last, the information session will only last as long as there are questions. So it's not the actual living circle, it's the information session. And in that information session will be decided on when the living circle will be. So if you have questions, again, I would refer you to the I'm interested, and we can get you engaged with that. So, I think that's all the announcements that we absolutely have. So right now, we want to acknowledge that we have a bunch of children on the far end of the building that are here, and their program today is the different kinds of spiritual teachers. The lesson focuses on exploring ancient spiritual teachers, their qualities, and the messages that they shared. So that's what the children are learning today. What is a teacher and what qualities that they actually have? So I invite you to go ahead and put your hands together and let's go ahead and bless our children by saying our children's blessing, and it's on the screen right behind me. Children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. So thank you very much. And right now, it's time for me to get off the stage and to sing. Our musicians are going to offer a Janice Stanfield song that I heard during rehearsals last week and this morning. They nail it better than Jana. It is absolute.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. It is beautiful.
Not fail. If I believed, would the wind always fill up my sails? How far could I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you do if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of sea, are the miracles in you and me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refused to listen to the voice of fear, what the voice of courage whisper in my ear? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I were brave, if I were brave.
One more time for the Unity Band. So I don't know how many of you were taking notes. So the words are, what would you dream if you knew you could have anything? And if you refused to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in your ear? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. The other big part of her song is what. She keeps asking what versus why or how or, whatever, right? So go to the what, not the why. You'll notice you stand a little taller, feel a little more sassy. I got to meet Jana, somewhere in the 80s when I was first in Unity. And her story, I'm going a little off key here. What a surprise. Give a minister a microphone, right? So her whole thing was she wanted to be part of a band called the Four Bitchin' Babes. They're now just called the Babes because we've evolved since the 80s. And she just couldn't get herself to do it. And her now one of her best friends is Megan McDonough. But so she wrote this song, and then never sent it in. Guess who's the award-winning Grammy star? Jana Stanfield, yeah. So very, very wonderful person. So my talk title is not accepting change, acknowledging loss, and allowing grief. That's what we're going to talk about. The talk title that Randy and I were trying to figure out was being real. Can you be real and can you love yourself in the midst of all of the stuff that's happening? There's a lot of stuff, yes? Everybody do this, right? So this is about being real and understanding. When I saw this, for those of you at home, what I have on the screen is you must bow your head to your heart. Because when I was a kid and they'd be like, bow your head, I'd be like, I am not bowing my head. What am I bowing my head for? I'm like, you're not the boss of me. Anybody else ever want anyone not to be the boss of them? I'm 63, I'm still that way. And then as you grow through unity and you evolve in your consciousness, we realize that when we bow our head to our heart, we're making the actual physical movement of getting out of the chitter-chatter mind stuff that happens into the silence of our heart. So when I saw that the other day, I thought, this is what's real. Scripture for today from Job, chapter 33, verse 4. The Spirit of God has made me, has made you, and the breath of God gives me life and gives you life. We need to remember this when the stuff outside of us happens, right? Or the news. I don't even have a TV, so I don't even know half the time what's going on, and I have to be told. So our affirmation, I am as God created me, I am real, I am love. Let's say that together. I am as God created me, I am real, I am love. When I speak about this, oftentimes people will be like, you're always talking about yourself. And I said, well, there's a difference, and I learned it from Maggie here 100 years ago. It's the big S self, right? You all know that. There's a difference between the one that's ego-driven. So if we can remember that we love ourselves and what are we going to do to take care of ourselves, then all the stuff outside of us will not have such an effect. We know that the seasons come and go. Well, they're supposed to. I'm not sure they do in Florida. It's still so hot here. And so we go from summer to fall, and we know that the trees are what? Our best teacher, aren't they? We get to see that death looks beautiful. Transformation happens as we let go. The leaves fall. They become very colorful at first, don't they? And you see their true nature. Right? When we allow ourselves to be fed and come from our truth. So what about your own transformation? How are you dealing with that? How are you dealing with not just being human? How many know they're human and divine? Raise your hand. Okay, if not, see me afterwards. We'll have a little session. Or write Randy and he'll help you. So the day comes, so I started Unity, and now it's, almost 34 years ago, so I was a child. And what happens is we start to evolve and understand that we are of God, and God is who and what we are in and through us. What happens is life around us, this humanity part, or we listen to the news too much, or someone told us this, or someone did that. Yes. That's what's going to happen outside of us. And so we get to be centered inside of us. And then the shift, again, careful how you hear that. It's a holy shift, is what Albert Einstein says. And the shift is, oh, wait, I am of God. I am both divine and human. I believe, Fillmore said this as well, Charles Fillmore, that that's our job every day, is to integrate and reconcile the divinity and the humanity. Because we know Jesus actually swore, well, so the stories tell us, that he swore at the fig tree, right? Well, the fig tree wasn't going to produce figs in June. Never. But he had a moment. How many have moments? I haven't had any yet today. Traffic was really good coming over beachside. We love that. So we get to shift and then start feeling and experience, and we get to see with eyes. That's what Barb did when I came in, of faith. We get to see that we are of God and that our divinity is continually unfolding. So when I get called for prayer, I've been a prayer chaplain longer than I've been a minister. I feel it's my true calling. When someone says, will you pray with me? I said, I will, and I will acknowledge your divinity and know your wholeness with you. They're like, no, I want you to pray for my cancer. I broke my leg. I got a divorce. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to acknowledge your wholeness and honor your divinity. That's what keeps us centered. All the other stuff is what we call monkey mind. It just keeps us busy or stuck. And it's always an inside job, isn't it? Always and in all ways. So what happens is we start coming to church, or you're watching online, you're taking classes, you're reading books. The shift happens and the spiritual transformation begins. We get to be more colorful like the trees, right? We get a little bit more confident and stand tall, like Janice said about the oak tree. It's that little acorn that held its ground and then becomes an oak tree. So beautiful when we think about that as the metaphor for our life. And it was really, I think, Emerson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, who was a friend or colleague of Fillmore at the time, who talked about that, who helped him decide that the name would be Unity. Aren't we grateful? So this time of year, I think we all would agree that we're grateful for our teachers, aren't we? For those who teach my grandchildren. My daughter is a teacher, my sister's a teacher, my sister-in-law's a teacher. So what we get to then embrace also is, how do we learn here? You have excellent teachers here, you all. Oh my gosh, to have a licensed teacher as part of my ministry, I would live for that. It hasn't happened as of yet. So you have teachers, but we have one in Jesus as well. And people are like, Therese, what is this, is like Jesus your guy? He's my guy. And I also meditate, so I'm a little Buddhist, I guess, right? It doesn't matter. Figure out that if we can have someone who is the great example versus the great exception. So what separates Unity, I believe, from other mainline religions is we see Jesus as the great example. Someone we can emulate, someone we can be like, not someone who's untouchable or the only begotten. We are all begotten. We are all begotten. There's a great book called, it's Walter Starkey, All is God. And he talks about we are all begotten children. And so people are like, but we're not children, Therese. Yes, inside there's a little Therese. Inside you all are little, whatever your names are, everywhere present, always wanting to be loved and acknowledged, right? I always say I have sparkles in my hair because of my granddaughters. It's not true. I have them because I'm 63 and my Therese wants them. So I get them, right? How are you celebrating yourself? How are you celebrating being real and loving yourself every single day? Fillmore wrote in 1917, I think it was, that our destiny is to become a child of God human being. He was a little weird to write. He was a little difficult to read. He was quite a unique writer. So what do we mean by being a child of God human being? There it is, the divinity and the humanity. As long as we can touch ourselves, then we are going to have human experiences. Otherwise, we're going to be elevated, or you already have angel wings. And those with angel wings are no better than we are. We are all of God. So we get to look at Jesus as he, in his last years in ministry, which we believe are 3 from what we're able to tell historically, that there became then a consciousness that was achieved, which we would call then the Christ consciousness. That's not a scary word, and it's not Jesus' last name. It's about coming from love first. In spiral dynamics, that would be called second-tier living. In life, it's just, can you be kind? Right? Can we just know? Richard Rohr says in his book, The Universal Christ, if we would just know our own divinity, we would never see anything but divinity in those outside of us. When I taught this book, I was like, oh my God, then why am I not seeing that in that person who's in front of me who is 15 items of the 10 line, or I'm on whatever road it is and someone's in front of me. So now, instead of getting my iris up, I'll go, oh, I'm going to see the Christ in them. And then it becomes real as we use that as part of our life. Can we get to the highest level of consciousness coming from love first? Everybody breathe. Everybody breathe. It's a big deal, and you don't have to do anything but change your mind to not listen to the words of fear so that the words of courage can whisper in your ear, right? Always and in always. So Jesus is living, he couldn't preach in his own town, people didn't like him. We know what happened in the end, right? Because of what? People just didn't know what he was doing, and they just didn't want him to be bigger than they were. personally, he kept growing in his fullness. He kept growing into the spirit of truth that he was. That's the example that we get to follow. Because I'm thinking pretty much he went through many different seasons in his life, didn't he? There's that time after really age 11 till almost 30, like really nobody knows where he was, at least the stories. We're not quite sure. So it's fun to make those up in the meantime, when we do Bible study. And then the seasons of just knowing he had to leave his family to go to find those who would work with him. Because we have to remember, Jesus was not Christian. Everybody breathing? I love this because up in Hilton Head, we rent from a synagogue. And the rabbi said, what do you want for your people? I said, a relationship with God. He's like, well, what about Jesus? I said, yeah, sure. And he's like, so basically you're Jewish. I said, aren't we all? Didn't we all come from that? He laughs. Oh my God, he's so funny. So if we can remember that during his ministry, he was the one in the wilderness, and as the stories tell us, he was going back and forth like the harmony of music from divinity to humanity and from divine to human. We have those moments in our own life. And the integration is why you come to church here on Sunday. It's why you listen online. It's why you take classes. It's why you read. It's why you get out of your mind and bow your head to get to your heart, so that you get to do that integration that brings peace. Does everybody want peace? Yeah? Would it be all right if you had more peace in your life? I think so. Marianne Williamson says, it's often attributed to Nelson Mandela, playing small does not serve us. Unity of Melbourne needs you all to be standing, helping, doing, and being in this time of transition. We know that. And I'm in a time of transition where I serve because our building we rent and we're not even open. So everybody, and my average age is 74, has to be somewhat technically operable, which isn't happening yet. So we get to know we're going to serve the best way we can today. And I'm just going to say, y'all need to give Randy a round of applause. We didn't sign up for this, right? I never had a technology class. You should see me trying to figure out Venmo and PayPal, and Lord have mercy. Just call me for prayer is what I say. That's always works best. So this week was World Day of Prayer. Ephesians says in chapter 3, verse 16, we pray knowing with a capital N, that from all the glorious, unlimited resources, that means everything, everywhere present, we are empowered with the inner strength of God. So when that curveball is thrown at you and you think, oh, I don't know if I can make it, breathe. Call a prayer chaplain, call someone you know and say, I'm having a moment. Could you help me get back to center? And the answer is always yes. So sign up on one of those forms, send an email in, whatever it is that you do. The hardest task, Fillmore says, for each of us to dissolve the crippling self-negativity that traps us. Anyone else critical of yourself? Not yet today, I hope, right? That's that humanity thinking, who the heck do you think you are that you are of God? I don't have to think it, I know it. We all know that. And so that's the attraction. When people are attracted to your light, it's not because you smell. It's because you are emanating light, and they want what you have. They want what you have. So what seems sometimes impossible is we get to walk, paradoxically, Fillmore says, in the two worlds at once. Inhabiting earth today, in this beautiful place Tom would always call a little bit of paradise, and the steadfast spiritual intent of having a new attitude when things maybe aren't going the way you want. Isn't there a song that says, you got a new attitude? Yeah, I won't sing. They don't pay me to sing. You are from God, it says in John chapter 4, verse 4, and they who are in us are greater than he who was in the world. So God in us, as us, and through us, we are the hands and the feet here. We get to arrive at these beautiful places that sometimes are intersections and we're not quite sure like which way to turn, Yes? So then we ask what? What is mine to do? And we leave behind all of those things like we learn in Lent that don't serve us because it's an everyday thing. If people aren't bringing out the best in you, maybe you don't want to have lunch with them. Maybe you'll just be friends with them on Facebook or not. What I learned in spiral dynamics and the manifestation of our consciousness is life pushes us, yes? And spirit is always pulling us. So hence the spiral. Always. Sometimes there's a little bit of shadow in the spiral. Guess what? There's shadow in you and me too. Embrace it. That's what we're talking about in being real and in honoring the truth of who we are as our biggest selves. And when do we do this? Every moment we're conscious that we're not. We come back to center and we start yet again. It also allows us then to let go those boxes of right and wrong, good and bad, because they get pretty full fast, don't they? We get to be present to this moment. If we've learned nothing else in this past 18 months, life is short. It can be short, and it's getting shorter for some people, right? So ask the questions. My favorite author is Sue Monk Kidd, and she's written many, many things, but the one book that she wrote was called When the Heart Waits. And I read this, I think even before I found Unity. So we're talking, I was really young, in my 20s. And she says, live in the question. So I have on my email, living as the holy question. Because then I'm always anticipating greatness and wonderfulness and not having expectations that I get stuck in. Right? So she says, is it possible that we are being summoned from some deep and holy place within us to be our real and authentic selves? Are we being asked to enter a new passage in a spiritual life, the journey from false self to true self? Are we being asked to dismantle old facades and patterns and unfold a deeper, more authentic self? The one that God created us to be? Are we being compelled to disturb our inner universe in quest of the undiscovered divine that clamors from within? I love that word, clamoring. What's clamoring in you? What's clamoring to be fulfilled? What we know. Unity, such a great way of living, because again, it's a journey. There's no real end to anything. We get to be spiritual all the time. We commit to our growth. We do that which helps us grow and continue. My favorite saying is, here I grow again, which always makes my grandchildren laugh, like, Nana, where are you growing? I'm like, hopefully not this way, hopefully this way and this way with my heart, right? So we get to have this deep introspection. I hope you're spending time in the quiet. And some days for me, it's all quiet. I ride in the car 5 hours to and from with no music. People are like, you're always talking. Not when I'm alone. Not when I'm alone. So we get to embrace being human, honoring the divine, and being real. Are you willing? I think it was Apostle Paul who said something about the new creature in our Christ consciousness. That's us. So we just get to get rid of the cobwebs and the things that don't serve us. But we have to be willing, we have to allow that we're going to evolve. And when something is sticking us or sticking to us, and you want to do this, get out your Gooby Gone and put it on, that thing, whatever it is, and let your heart, because you've moved from your head to your heart, lead the way. We must bow our head to engage our heart. So let's take a time now. Close your outer eyes as you're comfortable. And let us pray. The days come as we allow ourselves to be filled with peace. We acknowledge the reality and the realness of our lives. And we love ourselves, complete and whole. All to the glory of God that resides within each of us. Keep your outer eyes closed as you're comfortable. And let's celebrate this holy day today, right here and right now. Center yourself in your heart space. And if it's comfortable, put your hand on your heart. We know that the heart in the outer world represents love. It also represents life. And sometimes we can feel our heart beating when we have our hand over it. Each time we make an effort and we dedicate the time to be in the quiet with the God of our understanding, we access infinite wisdom from God. We've let go the personality of ourselves and we allow that voice to come forth. We breathe into this moment. From the awareness of our heart, we can feel. We can honor our feelings in a meaningful and exquisite way with the being of oneness with God. With the being of oneness of wisdom and love that is us, as God expresses through us. We affirm as we acknowledge that we have feelings, that we are honoring the feelings. We accept the change that happens as part of our divinity and integrating the humanity. To acknowledge that loss happens, much of which we've experienced over these last 18 months. And as we accept and we acknowledge, allowing happens. Open mind, open hearts, allow for the allowing. We are grateful for our hearts. We are grateful for the unity that is in our hearts, expressed as us, as each of us goes out to spread the word that is us. You, the great example in the lives of those you touch. And we acknowledge the very presence that is always and in all ways within us, urging us on to the spiritual transformations that will continue to happen when we say yes, when we allow the voice of courage to whisper in our ear. Everywhere we go, always and in all ways, the very presence of God is. And so we pray this in the name and after the nature, and under the authority of the living, loving presence that is me and that is you in this moment. Create stillness for yourself each day. And I affirm with you and for you that you are as God created you. You are real and you are love. And so it is. Amen.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe. Stillness of this moment. I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am peace. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am love. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am peace. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am love. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am peace. I am, I am, I am, I am, I am love.
Thank you, musicians. Thank you. It's on. It's on. Thank you. I am now working. Yay. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Therese. It is always a joy to have you here with us. Reverend Therese was one of the first teachers that I had in my SEE courses at Christ Church Unity. No, over there. Did Bible interpretation. You were a tough instructor. But I learned so much. I learned so very much. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much. We want to take this opportunity now to practice the principle of generosity. Practice. And the fifth principle of unity is not only not understanding the principles, but it's also implementing. So if today you have found value, if you've found enjoyment, if you have found excitement in the music, in the message, and in the meditation, there are 4 ways that you can demonstrate that generosity, that prosperity. We have a basket in the back of the sanctuary for those who are here, for those of you who are online, and for those of you who are in the sanctuary. Using a smart device, you can contribute by dialing on your smart device 84321 and the amount to Unity Church of Melbourne. Joseph is also posting a link to our secure website that will allow you to donate, designate an amount that you'd like to contribute, and that is a secure site as well. The 4th way is, if you're old school, to write a check to Unity of Melbourne and drop it off in the basket on the way out of the sanctuary, or to mail it to us at Unity of Melbourne, 2401 North Harbor City Boulevard, Melbourne, Florida, 32935. We greatly appreciate that. And it's not only demonstrating the principles of prosperity, demonstrating the principles of abundance, but in that flow of giving and receiving, you're also expressing gratitude. And our musicians right now are going to honor us with "I'm So Grateful." And there are hand motions that are in the back of the chairs in front of you, and I would encourage you to participate in those hand motions because we are so very, very grateful.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
let's take that energy of being grateful. We bless these offerings destined for Unity of Melbourne and are grateful for all of the ways that each of us contribute to support this spiritual ministry. These manifestations of abundance will be used in faithful stewardship. We bless the gift. We bless the giver and hold the conviction that each blessing will be manifest in each of our lives 100-fold. And so it is, and we claim it to be. Amen. Just a couple of things that I want to remind everyone is that I'm so grateful to be here and all of you because you are Unity of Melbourne. Whether you're a first-time visitor, first-time viewer, or whether you've been here since long before, in other iterations of Unity of Melbourne, you all are Unity of Melbourne. And thank you for taking the time today to demonstrate that you are Unity of Melbourne. I want to thank Reverend Therese again for being here. And don't forget today, after the worship service down in hospitality, she'll be hosting the follow-on. And for those of you online, Joseph will be posting the Zoom link for that, and we'll be starting that at 11:45. So don't sign on right now. Sign in about 11:40, 11:42 or something, and we'll get that computer set up and going. I want to thank our wonderful musicians who have just knocked it out of the park today as usual. On drums, Fred Goodnight. On bass, Ron Cobb. Stoney Copeland on the keyboards. Vashti St. Germain on vocals, and Deborah Thornton also on vocals. Thank you so very, very much. Chris is in the back doing the audios. Joseph on video. I do want to acknowledge, and I forgot to mention this earlier, we've got 3 prayer chaplains. I see 3, and I think that's all we have. We do have prayer chaplains who are in the sanctuary right now. So if you are desiring prayer, you don't have to go to Reverend Therese. You can stand in line, but we've got 3 no waiting. We have Ann, we have Chris, and we have Jane, who will be in the sanctuary, available to talk with you, to pray with you. And for those of you online, Joseph is posting the link, or has already posted the link, to submit a prayer request. And also, that goes to our website, and you can fill out the prayer request form. It comes directly to the prayer chaplains, and they'll add you to our prayer list for 30 days, and we send that prayer request off to Silent Unity for prayer for another 30 days. We also have a prayer box on the back table that you can complete the prayer request, drop it in the prayer box, and it will also be added. But we do have 3 prayer chaplains that are here for immediate prayer. We thank you so very, very much for being here. I know I've probably skipped a couple of slides, but that's okay. We've taken enough of your time, so thank you so very much. We're going to close out today's service as we do with our prayer for protection. And we use here at Unity of Melbourne the affirmative prayer for protection. And Joseph is going to get it up in just a second so that we can all affirm that together. There we go. Together, the light of God surrounds me. I am light. The love of God enfolds me. I am love. The power of God protects me. I am power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, as I know, all is divine. Musicians, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you for watching.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy.
alive in the space between us. Feel that love right now. God speaks out in the words between us. Hear those words right now. I am holy. You are holy. There is beauty between us. Spirit shines in the light between us. See that light right now. Peace is born in the good between us. Be that peace right now. I am holy. You are holy. There is beauty between us. Between us. Faith is the bond that we share between us. Hold that faith right now. Truth is the life in the breath between us. Live that truth right now. We are holy. We are holy. We are holy. We between us. Love is alive in the space between us. Love is alive.